That's why we had to turn to, divine implements like Sweet Mary Jane, and I can't think of anything else to help us along the way, man, soften up, get our thoughts expanding a little bit, because, man, you wouldn't believe the caveman world I was born into, the post-World War II stuff. Oh, my goodness, it was so square back then that you always felt like you only had one more breath to go, man. I'm telling you, it was scary crap, man. Everybody was like this, so, like, do, and follow the formula. Don't mess with it, man. If you do good in the formula, well, you can win friends and influence people and have a lot of money and good times, All you gotta do is go down there to that crossroads there in Mississippi and put your little X on the contract when that dark dude shows up, and everything in your life just gonna turn out fine. Now, well, it doesn't always work that way. Even when you sign a contract, I mean, the devil can be tricky, baby. I mean, she told me one day she liked tricking people. I said, really? I can't believe that. I mean, you like deception? I mean, you lie and cheat and steal because you think that's something cool? And she looked at me and said, honey, I ain't never stolen nothing, man. The dumbasses just give it to me by leaving it out where I can get it. No theft in that. Yeah, you got something there, baby. Really, you do. But listen, maybe we can apply this creatively and realize, that whatever those goodies are that we're so lusting after, there might be, something even better in your own life already. You're just blind to it because you're so lusting after something you don't think you have. So you better go and, check yourself into the closet for just one moment, and shut your eyes and do a little inner searching in that kind of meditative, communicative sort of way, search out the difficulty you're having that makes you lust after something so bad you want to steal it. And if that doesn't work, come here, I'll give you a big warm hug. So then I give the old devil a big warm hug, and she understood, I didn't have to talk in words anymore, man. She and I were like, one heart, because that's what we are anyway. The whole illusion of devil and angel and all that shit. Cute little puppet show, but look at the nuclear weapons it's produced. You ready to give that shit up? Well, guess what? We've already given it up. It's all gone away. Right here on the side of our heart this morning, here today, man. That's the miracle of love. All them destructive weapons inside of ourselves that we use against ourselves in a very subconscious, subliminal, but programmed sort of way. That's why it's called programming. Because you don't see it going on. It just works automatically like the blow-up autopilot in that movie Airplane, man. It just flies the plane, man. That's what it does. Don't know anything but be that, right? Wrong. Babies, we are like the real autopilot. Of course, it's the heart, man. And you just, when you're going with the flow, when you hear the rhythm and the rock and the roll, when you hear the divine harmony coming forward in that multi-dimensional presence of your person, man, well, then man, that's what a flow is. It's harmony, it's rock, it's roll, it's going with the flow of that stream of life, don't you know? See, we pick it up in vibration first, and then we make it forward in creation, because out of the vibration comes the creation. You see, that's a lesson of rock and roll here in the 3D. We took that square-headed reality, put it up, turned it on its head, man. So took it from upside down, and now we're going right side up. Watch out, world, here we are. It's rock and roll reality of Spring Creek, man. It's the moment, man. You see, and there's no cosmic weaponry, no, microwave beams or whatever the shit it is. They're throwing stuff in the sky, whatever, Ain't none of that's going to stop that flow, because that's also 3D, man, and it just doesn't work anymore, We're living beyond that. We got the rock and the roll, see? We came off the rock, which was the prison, of course, of being stuck in paradise for an eternity, but tormented for it, see? We picked on ourselves so God blessed much in this 3D. I mean, every life is a sacrifice to start with. Just lowering yourself to be such an undignified presence, man, and having to learn your way out of total and complete devolution, man. That's where the term devil came from. They just shortened it up a bit, so you wouldn't really realize what it was, see. And a lot of change in the terminology. Once we're down in that foggy-headed place, change in the terminology can change the way you think, the way you live, your attitudes and stuff. Just leaving off a little bit or something, or leaving a little bit out of the story the way they do in some of these ancient texts and so forth when they're translated. Yeah, translate. Ain't anybody ever translated anything yet, man. But when we get indications, it's great to have that stuff around. It'll give you reiteration a lot. But you realize it's severely messed with, and, in a lot of cases, it's totally pure bunk. But that doesn't matter. It's the idea behind it that gives it the flow, see. You just don't want to be all caught up in the wordage and terminology, because then you're still being programmed. See, you want to be gracious about it. Let the language be gracious with you. Go with the flow. Hear the rhythm, the harmony, the movement, the emotion in the rock and roll of your own heart and soul. Then you start to understand what this old hippie bullshit's all about, man. It's kind of fun, man. You start to shine like a sunflower in the sun. It's the most pleasant place of being there could ever be. It's peace, and then some, man. It's the blossoming of your human heart, your human presence in this reality. And there's nothing, and I'm telling you, anywhere more spectacular than a moment like that. Because that's a Spring Crick moment, and that's the moment we see in all who live within this 3D. Not just humanity, okay? I mean, you guys are starting to know the flow and see the show, man. It's pretty damn grand, ain't it, baby? Ooh, wow, I tell you what. Hang around. We got to do more. This good old Spring Crick medicine for you on the ever-clear Hazy Radio Network. Dear, your morning wake-up call and so much more. Thank you for tuning into your ancient computerized radio and helping us to express the liberation of our insanity, okay? Baby, it's for you, man, all the way. Oh, the expansive view coming through, babies, no matter how good it's been. It's only going to get better from here. You ain't seen nothing yet, dear. I don't care how much gold you've acquired. I don't care how many lovers you've had. Or you only had one and it was total perfection from the first moment, just like in the movies and shit, man. Or the old movies, anyway. These days, that kind of stuff gives you the creep. That's why, we're headed in that coyote sort of way, that coyote sort of direction, wouldn't you say? We're the infection, man. Come out to play. The infectious reality of the heart, man. And no one can resist it in this 3D. It's completely irresistible, don't you see? So don't be afraid, man, to know that you've already paid every due that you ever thought you needed to. Now just get out of your own way. Get out of your head and back into your heart today. While you're out rolling around, enjoying the sun, sitting on the beach, or sitting there on the assembly line, or packing them boxes, whatever it is we do. Oh, you're an attorney for all them Hollywood stars. Big deal, man. I like Jerry Spence, don't you? I mean, yeah, he's a bit commercial, and he's totally sold out, but he's sure helped a lot of fine folk out, too. I mean, blew the government back on its face a time or two, and I'm glad in the 3D they're champions like he, okay? Well, there's you, too, see? Baby, all you gotta do is be, civil. That's all. Just, respect one another enough to allow one another our presence in this reality. And don't go forcing our opinionated bullshit on anybody else. But, share what you are all the time, wherever you are, man. Just let your essence bubble over, man. Don't be afraid, because I'm telling you, this is the irresistible force, the ultimate power. The devil invented it, man, in cahoots with the angel, don't you see? I mean, it's all the same, baby. It's a rooted down reality. It's a tree, man, a flower, a blossoming one, too. But it's got the power, man. When you feel the flow, the magnetic flow of the liquidity through all your little veins and corpuscles and shit. That's where we got rock and roll, man, Open you up, heart and soul. They were like, You know, the liberating army come to set us free from our prison, don't you see, saying to you, look how much more expansive it can be. It don't have to be that way no more. There's unlimited possibility. When you get into the divine harmony of rock and roll, you get your ass out of 3D pretty immediately, don't you? And no wonder you went and messed around with LSD and stuff and fried your mind. Now you can't even think straight, right? No way. Baby, you never let it go. You put yourself through some traumatic experience along the way. Baby, it pays off so big time that you just can't believe it. All you got to do now is just let it go. You know, and I mean, that sounds like simple, doesn't it? I know, man. I've been through a lot too, baby, you know. But it starts when you just kind of get in yourself. You just get to this place where you say, look, I'm not going to be indecent. I don't care what this world around me has done to me or how badly I've been picked on, how stupid I've been in my money dealings, whatever, man, you know, romance, you know, it's always something, man, you know. I'm just going to be okay with all that. I'm just going to let it go, and I'm just going to be decent to my fellow human beings one way or the other. You know, I might even say hello walking down the street today. Hope I don't scare anybody, you know. And just, you know, smile a lot. Shit like that. I'm just not going to take it anymore. I'm going to relax and see what I see. See, if you just relax a little bit in this 3D, and I mean a little, because you are taught to be nervous and uptight about everything. You know, one way or another. They want you to be, well, the programmers of this reality, okay, this is the part we've been playing. A lot of us, a damn good share of us, man. But you're programmed to be, you know, nervous and uptight in this reality. And there's energies around you you don't always see. And a lot of it involves microwaves here in the 3D and, you know, electronic waves to boot. I mean, it's sine waves, you know. But guess what? You know, when you see that, when you feel that, and you acknowledge that's what you're feeling, you start to give it some definition. You start to acknowledge what you already know. And what you've been denying in yourself, you see the program, and see you're programmed to run from your own truth, which is you are the all-powerful flow of life. And only good things can come to you. I mean, only, you know, greatness can happen because the heart won't have it any other way. It's a mother's love. And she feels herself and her children, the child of creation. And we are that. Us little human beings, child of the Mother Earth. Think about it, babies. I mean, it's been right there in our faces forever, but we've been taught to deny it and put an authoritarian dickhead over everything they call God. You know, ooh, he's watching you, man, better than Santa Claus do, man. This dude's got you down. He knows every little thing, and baby, Judgment Day's coming. You're going down. Good grief, what kind of a way to live is that? See, that's the basic attitude behind the attitude of ingratitude, because you're either trying to outrun that perception and say, no, that doesn't exist, there is no karmic effect, deny, you know, or, you know, you're trying to find power in that because you don't feel it anywhere else. It seems like the darker ways are the ones that pay. Because that, you know, everybody else is just being bimbos and leatherheads and being led around by their noses, you know. So you go, well, shit, there got to be alternatives, man. So sometimes you get caught up in stuff that, well, you never intended, but wow, it just felt so good when it was happening, you couldn't stop yourself, no matter how darkly it was expressed. You know, there was some divine pleasure in being that wicked. Or whatever it was. It might just be a feeling, you know, not anything more than a fantasy. But that exists in some level, some way, you see. That's the lesson you get when you did that LSD. It kind of put the two realities together, and you realize imagination, dream, and living are the same thing, and it's all in the same moment. And a lot of people got to that moment, and it blew their circuits because they weren't ready for that divine truth, that divine moment. It's a little like forcing the flower to open before it's ready to blossom. You can't do that. It doesn't work. It, you know, comes out all gnarly. I mean, it might become self-correcting if you leave it alone for a while. The old wrinkled up leaves you messed up might fall away and a good blossom come out. You never know. But you just don't push it. But that's what happened with the LSD experience, especially there in the 70s. There was a mass awakening of that kind, of that nature. And it didn't stick too well in this 3D because, you know, like I say, there were a lot. There were many that were ready for it, thank goodness, and they've kind of held the energy. But those that weren't ready for it, that blew their circuits, guess what? They're still here with us in the 3D, and they understand still. They were just frightened out of their wits by that truth. And that blows you away. Next thing you know, you're jumping out a window and being Supergirl or something. You know, wow. Well, it's fun on the way down. But you know, babies, we've all gone through and made our own sacrifice. Sometimes just by being silly teenagers and doing stupid things like that under the influence of something like that. Does happen, you see. But there's other forces at work here that we don't always pay attention to. But yet, when you're on that LSD or anything similar to that, you can start to see this stuff. If you want to be real with yourself. Now, if you don't, you'll deny it when you see it, and it'll change. It'll be something totally different. Because we're allowed that in creation, and that's another lesson of any kind of psychedelic, you know. It's just teaching you in its own natural, organic way the reality of creation, how it works. You see, it's an experience in that. Well, when you start to get that, then you've got the fertility of experience given the nutrition and the glow along with the bright sunlight to bring the blossom out just right, the fragrance of which will forever change the atmosphere around us, dear. Sweeten it up a bunch, man, you know. We're not out to lunch, babies, and we never have been. We just tricked ourselves into a lot of experiential bullshit. But in a divine sort of way, that's what makes it innocent. We are the innocent at play, baby, no matter how darkly we may have expressed ourselves in that day. But you know, if you can remember the divine pleasure in that darkness, you can let it go. And acknowledge it as an illusionary experience. Because you know you can't be anything but love. It's what we're made of. Anything else, you see, is contrary to the reality. And it's an indicator that tells you, well, you're not quite getting it yet, but that's okay. Keep going that way. You know, keep looking. Don't ever give up, babies, no matter what happens to you, you know. I mean, as a person in this 3D, geez, I've been clobbered a bunch of times, man, you know. Nobody believed the story, so I ain't going to tell it again. But I'm living proof. I'm a demonstration of how resilient we really are. And if you're born to experience and express a certain amount of truth in this reality, nothing can stop you from it. Nothing. Not programming, not brainwashing, not incarceration, not any kind of physical maladies, you know, the near-death experiences and stuff. Everything you go through, including LSD, is something that brings you back naturally. You see, I knew the first time I took acid, you know, what I was here to be. I did. I lived it again in my own silly kid-like sort of way, but I did. It's a great trip, man, you know. A really great experience. But, you know, if you really want a trip today, I really highly suggest stick with nature's way. Don't use the refined chemicals that way. And you'll have a little gentler time of the experience. I'm just saying if you're going to do that. You know, or if you already are, you see, you know, start to understand what you're really doing there. Start to pay attention. You're being taught how to live creatively, how the dream and the life literally are the same thing. The higher and the lower are the illusion of separation. And in that moment alone, we can let go of the weight, be done with it forever. We realize there is no darkness and no pain. Just love. The blossoming flower thereof coming forward right now from our experiential heart, babies. In that 3D sort of way and heavily metaphorical in some other way, but the reality coming out to play. Just like Spring Crick. Moment of clarity each and every day here, Monday through Friday, in rock and roll sort of way. That's why you got to keep your radio tuned up, okay? I mean, way up, man. It's a public service, you know, to share the wealth of Spring Crick. Coming to you exclusively on the Everclear Hazy Radio cool network there, you know, the rockinest little radio network you ever found anywhere, man. And baby, we got a lot of different internets we're playing on. Not just the one in the 3D through the computerized machinery, don't you see? Ooh, there's a lot larger element to this, eh? I think you're starting to live it, baby. That's kind of cool, man. Oh, Flo is catching on here, man. And she's a hot little chick, let me tell you. Debbie Boone, ladies and gentlemen, here on that Spring Crick radio show, coming to you from 9,000 feet high in the Rocky Mountain sky, through the heart of this guy and his little dog too, and my blue buffalo and my little green man, and you know, a bunch of angels and stuff, and divine presences like yourself tuning in, man. All one heart, isn't it, dude? You know, we're backed up in the corner, but baby, whoo, we are lighting up the lives of everyone right now, ain't we, baby? Getting so high we don't even know that we're all aglow, man. You know, we're just starting to catch on to that part of the medicine show. Eh? Well, let me tell you about Debbie Boone, okay? She was the reason. Oh, it's good. Nothing like Spring Creek, man. Nothing like a good, clear sip on a cup of coffee made with spring water. Oh, my goodness. Takes you right back to that beginning moment, just like Debbie Boone does. You know, that moment where we're all backed in the corner and we think it's all over, but guess what? We're calm as can be. We're not afraid of anything. That's an ending. You know, it begins naturally right again. You don't have to worry about it. You're there. You understand. You start to remember, man. And you're okay. Disaster's on its way. It's inevitable. You know, and you're just standing there watching it come. Say, I ain't gonna run. Shit, don't even think about it, man. You're just there in stunned silence, watching it all get over with. How many times has humanity done that? So many times it's driven us a little bit insane, eh? Especially in this day and age when, you know, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here got all these low-level lives being lived, all these people constantly fighting and hacking each other to death with knives and swords and axes and stuff. I mean, just barbaric, beyond belief, you know. Yeah, even over on this side of the world, there was, you know, warfare everywhere, man, you know, and of equal savagery in its own way, you know, in varying degrees. Some tribes actually managed to live peacefully. Wasn't that awesome? But most of them didn't. Most of them had squabbles with their neighbors of one sort or another, and there's always some little skirmish or war going on, or somebody's got too many ponies in that tribe. We need to go steal a bunch of them, you know. I guess it's all fun and games if you look at it that way, but to me it's kind of macabre, you know. And then all of a sudden, out of all this commotion, this tribal savagery, you know, which really wasn't very tribal. It just took different natures on different sides of the world, of course, but then this nature tried to impose itself on this nature, and nature was the one that got sold short. But, you know, there were some wisdom keepers alive in the 1600s, 1600s, something like that. Right back in that general time frame. Can't give it a specific date. I just see it. And there were some wisdom keepers there, of course, filled with mojo and the juice of life, and you know, able to realize the creative experience. As the foreseeing what was to be in this 3D reality, in this particular timeline where the random nature of the European expansion was going to clobber the hell out of the indigenous folks over here and try to occupy the land and, you know, force it down, man, you know. You can't kill the beauty and wonder of it, so you just try to rape it, you know. It's like, jeez, sick stuff. But see, our ancestors didn't know that. They didn't realize that. They thought in terms of, God, let's get away from all this horrible warfare we're always creating on each other, and all these kings and dictators that push us around, make us kill each other and stuff. You know, I mean, how many times do we have to make the crusade to realize, well, maybe Jesus didn't want us to have it over there. Maybe he wanted to have it right where we are. Jolly old UK or wherever, you know. Oh, baby, but see, forever and a day, it seemed like it would be, this nasty thing, big old genocide again, It seems like anytime humanity's got to make a little shift before these times, they always had to do that genocidal thing. It's like so insane. Or at least attempt it, One tribe against another. Your nation ain't good enough. You guys are low life, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, Some people feeling all godly and good, and other people feeling like, well, they're godly and good too, but guess what, Them folks over there don't like us because we do the wrong God or something. I don't know, whatever it is, Some reason or another, we got to go take everything away from them and have it all for ourselves. And the spoils of war are always a great sickness in the stomach of humankind that just obliterated any kind of feeling and led to a really low and numb life we call the Dark Ages, man, You can't just participate in that rage, even if you get real sophisticated about it, and you're sitting in before some console in an underground facility and directing bombs and missiles and stuff every which way, You can't escape it. It won't go away. It's not easy, you see, because we know in our heart that this isn't possible. Not only that we shouldn't be doing it, that's the superficiality of programming right there. Guilty feelings. Oh, we shouldn't be doing this. Or that which feels horrified afterwards and punishes itself in unbelievable ways. I tell you, it sticks in the stomach, man. And it comes out in the whole tribe, not just one or two. Everybody bears this. That's why wars are allowed against nations, because it's a collective experience, even though it's kind of the exact opposite of what life really is. That kind of hell has existed here for at least 8,000 years, and all kinds of variations of it before that for millions and billions of years. We've been around forever, and they don't want you to know that. They don't want you to realize, they being us in that darker form, that one that makes the warfare on us. It's kind of like, making war on yourself, and you feel every bit of the pain. So you go dead inside so you don't have to feel. And guess what? The pain don't go away. It's in the deadness. That is the pain. And you thought you were escaping it. Ain't no way. So what is that pain? Let's dissolve it away. Let's see what it really is today, here in this Spring Crick moment. This radio show only and exclusively on the Everclear Hazy Radio Network there, hazyradio.com. We got it on early in the day when old Grandpa and Okie and a lot of angelic friends come out to play. You included, baby, divine lover that you are. Okay? So we've always had it underway, no matter the role that we play or the moment. It's creation. It's love in motion. It's life giving up the pain. By embracing it. Embrace the numbness. Recognize it. Admit it to yourself. That's why you're such a sick, psychopathic SOB, if that's what you happen to be. But that's what makes you go psycho, man, is that inability to be satisfied with anything. That emptiness, that numbness, that pain that you never want to admit to yourself. You're better than that. You're a singular presence. You aspire to be God, man, and rule over everything with a dominance and a heavy heart, right? What a living work of art. What a beautiful untruth, exposed untruthfully for all that it is. Naked on that canvas, purely visible, and a real lovable critter just the same. See, in your heart there is no blame. There's only love. That's what makes it tame. That's what releases us from the shuddering heaviness of guilt, shame, which is just another expression of pain. It's a routed, through power of suggestion, it's a routed pain. It's routed in a certain way. And make it a little harder on yourself, not softer. Push yourself a little more. Outrun the guilt. Outrun the shame. Oh no, I only did what was patriotic duty. Blah, blah, blah. You all know. We all know. We all live this reality, at this level. and don't always understand it or see it because we've been running around in the muck for so long. And all we do is just make ourselves sicker and sicker. So, comes a certain stage where things kind of turn around. All the actors in the play have played their roles perfectly, and there's a larger motion, a larger energy at play, a higher way. It's going on throughout all the experience of 3D. And little lights over here held in that light, little light over here going through this experience, so that little light over there can make it through that one and hold the energy for that one, who's the big boom for a little bit, but then there's this one over here and that one over there, and they're all complementary one to another. And I'm not talking about, prophets and prophetesses necessarily. Just people living a good life. Sometimes unknown as all get out, but holding such a pleasant energy in this reality that it couldn't be messed with, even by the kings and their knights in shining armor, etc. You couldn't kill it. It's going to love you no matter what. It was happy with life, even if it was just a low-life little farmer on a 5-acre patch of wheat, continually, Even that kind of drudgerous life, there's great richness in it. That's why persons choose to live it. And when we start to remember that, then we've basically forgiven our ancestors because we understand the nature of their experience. Then we can allow our experience to be okay too. And get it underway a little more creatively, wouldn't you say? I mean, when you just slow down a wee bit, relax, take a toke, whatever it is to help expand and soften yourself up, then you begin the expansion into liberty. Yeah, freedom. It's the real thing, see? Freedom is being what you are and being happy about it. Being in your place, it just feels like the most natural place there could ever be, whatever that is. And it's called contentment. And from that contentment, through the attitude of gratitude, I might add, salt and pepper, baby, spice it, expands out into the outer life around it, through the inner light of its own life, and causes us all to express and feel in this higher way, and understand then the dynamic of 3D, and let go of all the misery, the judgment that goes with it. See, that's what creates the misery, a judgment that causes you to rise up in warfare against one another, let alone as tribes against tribes and nations against nations. That heavy-handedness, that thoughtless presence that really doesn't know life at all, even though it's been to the water a gazillion times, it ain't seen it, ain't even smelled it. Now it does, because you're getting it, and that gets it underway. The flow of life, it has its own channel, but each person that channels it becomes a channel for many, many others. A presence that can influence millions, billions, and gazillions beyond numbers. And does, too. That's how significant each life lived on this earth can be. And in fact is, in my humble opinion. But you feel it, you be it, you remember it. We're the turning point for the whole reality. We are the collective heart. That despite all this fractured natures of being that we've played our place in, are a unified presence. A singular presence of the greatest love there could ever be. Because it cares so much for creation as to want it to blossom and grow and be in joy forevermore. So we are, man. Simple as that. Just don't allow anything else to be. Anything else is unnatural. Going against the flow. Maybe it's a little stick in the river, needs a little washing away. Just turn around and blow your heart on a little bit. It'll be on its way, It'll entertain some little kid downstream somewhere, something like that, Everything has its real presence of being and its purpose here. It's been misfunctioned in a way because somebody interfered with the stream. Started planting, sticks and rocks and boulders and stuff in it, trying to build dams on it and stuff like that. Didn't work out too well, but yet everyone that is those energies that have been tried here are an energy of a life living, like a cattail or something somebody turns upside down and shoves into the bottom of the stream, Well, it's right side up now. I mean, and it floated downstream when the stream loosened it up and let it go. It floated on downstream and become something else for someone else. Maybe someone got it out of the water, saw it floating on by, got it out of the water, dried it out a little bit, made a night torch out of it so they'd have light in the night. Stuff like that. You just never know where the flow's going to take you or what your function is going to be. You just go with it quite naturally. And then you can see downstream and upstream, and you know a little more, and you understand your presence, so you go more with the flow. Pretty soon the river's just singing happy, baby, on its journey to the sea. And, you know, the ocean of love is living naturally in all elements of life. And that's when we see the ocean in all of it. The water of life, the purity, the crystalline nature, the purity, the water, through which the rainbow of love is created. Okay, I mean, I don't mean to be so heavy on a magnificent Monday, but to me it's light, light, light. And right. Well, somewhere like that anyway, baby. We're starting to get it on and sing a happy song and allow our little heart to open up, experience the full presence of its person for the first time in who knows how long, because of the issues lived through, the price paid, if you want to say it that way, of the previous generations whose blood lives in us to this moment. See, that's the flow of that ocean. Came forward as a mother of love, maybe a gazillion years ago, who knows where. We remember it all, though. It'll come back to us if we just allow it. Okay? So let a little rock and roll rhythm in a multi-dimensional way help you along, man. Help it expand your heart, help you grow, understand, baby. See what it is to rock and to roll, to be in that flow. That's when it all becomes harmony. You don't have to work at it anymore. It just happens naturally. It's called living creatively. And then you're free, baby, you know. The prisons from here on out are self-imposed until you recognize that you were willing to let it go a long time ago. You're just having too dang much fun with it. Like a kid that don't want to give up his Tonka truck in the sandbox to come in and eat. Screw that, I'm having fun, right? Well, baby, now it's time to, you know, come forward to the banquet of celebration, the banquet of love, babies, you know. Realize how loved you really are, and how loving you are in everything else around you, too, and how much it's loving you. Ain't no loneliness in that presence, I'm telling you, baby. Getting it clear in that hazy radio network sort of way with Grandpa Coyote today at Spring Crick. From the beginning, man. The very beginning of the flow of life. Oh, baby, we're shifting into high gear now. A gear so high we didn't even know that we could take off and fly, did we, till we hit that gear so high, man. I think it's Mach 37. I think it's warp factor 88. I think it's like, ooh, right there at Heaven's Gate, man, where you're going so fast everything just slows down and stops. You know, I mean, you're just going faster than reality, man, and all of a sudden the reality is like exceeded you, and you've exceeded it too, man. You know, somebody went down to the donut shop the other day and put a gun in their face and said, "Give me all the donuts, man." He was pretty desperate, I'm telling you. The dude needed some serious enlightenment. It was a dude, thank goodness. I wouldn't want to attribute such a horrible travesty of injustice to a feminine configuration in this reality, would you? I mean, talk about a disgrace to the mothers. Oh, there we go, getting all judgmental again, eh? Oh, Grandpa playing with you a wee bit today, but ooh, yeah, they held up the donut shop. So I'm going to have to hold up the donut shop too, man. You know what I mean? No, I mean hold it up, not rob it. Hold it up, man. Make sure it floats, you know, make sure it gets going somehow, because, you know, it's time for all who are of this heart, that are ready to be the divine, and step forward and eat their donuts so they get their final step in enlightenment, don't you know? It comes from the center of the heart, just like the donut hole, man. I mean, that's where everything is in that donut hole, but all that exists around it is created of the whole. W-H-O-L-E. So these will be holy donuts, don't you know? W-H-O-L-E-E, man, you know. We'll probably put a capital on the L just for fun. So it's holy or hooly. And baby, then you will fulfill the long, long journey of humanity through this, tragedy and triumph place we called, 3D, man. Finally, somebody got enlightened enough to bring manna back from heaven. You know what I mean? And that's the leaven of the donut, man. The energy of love that makes it all want to expand and grow and be a beautiful little donut, don't you know? Well, darlings, and you talk about sugar and spice and everything nice, what we put on top of that donut when it comes sizzling out of the pan, man, we put a little slight touch of sweetness all around the top of it, don't you see? And little by little it melts down the sides and the whole donut begins to shine. And pretty soon it's not just a little golden donut anymore. I mean, the gold turned into rainbows, man, and energetic rainbows. Wham, 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 wham. You put that donut in a box, man, somebody's going to pay $17, $18 for it anyway, man, because the rainbow, wham, wham, wham. If you get one little nibble, you complete the journey to enlightenment, the return to enlightenment for all of humanity. All you got to do is help me get this little donut shop going by dreaming it into being, okay? We'll just create it. And with its profitarials, whatever they call that thing, the moolah that it digs up, will, promote the cause of legalization everywhere. Totally across the board, anywhere. I mean, Zambia, Argentina, LA, everywhere, man. We want this stuff totally, completely unregulated. Our sacred sacrament, we call the sacred herb of Mary Jane, man, who's here to more than relieve our pain, to help us see through it so we don't have any pain anymore. I mean, come on, guys. It's just another a step in our expansion, a step in our evolution, man, our re-evolution. So you got to, allow her energy to be unregulated, unfettered. I mean, would you go home and tie up your mother? Well, you probably would, you sick, syncopathic, psychopath. I mean, doggone, what are we going to do with you? Well, there's a little crooked nature in our heart. We better untwist a little bit so it'll help you out, too. See, that's how you do it. When you see horrors and tragedies and, just the odd things that shouldn't be in the reality around you, instead of, going out there and saying, oh, my God, we got to do something and trying to do something about it there, instead, you kind of retreat, man. You go into your heart space, man. You go into that knowing love that's just there waiting for you to surrender to it, man. And I mean surrender, meaning that you don't sign a treaty with it or nothing. Hell no. You just accept the reality of that pure love in all of your existence, especially from the inside out. That's where it begins, man. And when you do, you begin to unify all the energies inside and you gain great strength in this material reality, and you'll become like a beacon of light and love that nobody will mess with. You're completely safe in that space, and you can let it all hang out, and they won't come near you unless they're ready for something real, in which case you help them get that deal, because you just shine it bright like the sunlight. And just like the sunlight itself, it's irrefusable. Does a flower say, no, go away? Or the tree, or the bird, or the bee? Maybe humanity does every now and then, because it can get awful hot in places, can't it? Etc. But basically, we all receive its nourishment automatically. And in the heart of the mother love that it communes with, commingles with, in the reality of the 3D and the things that grow here, including ourselves, man, well, there's the perfect expression and form of life in everything that be, lived in great equity, man. In other words, it's all equal in the mother love, every bit of it. She loves the itty-bitty flowers along the stream shore. She loves the gigantic nature of the nebulas. She loves the little cosmic medicine wheels in the sky. She loves everything. She even loves girls, man, and guys. I mean, I know her pretty good, too, so I can speak with some well, some knowingness. I won't say authority, because that's going back to the old dick-headed reality. And I think we're done with that, ain't we, man? You know, that male authoritarian attitude and the wicked old God to go with it, or gods, I should say, because there's a lot of different varieties of it, depending on whose works you read and so whose business you follow, because that's mostly what all that shit is. It's a businessman that wants to rule over the 3D, so it took over you with religion, you know, which is programming, you know, enhanced programming, which then, through the practice of and the manipulation of human beings through the generations, certain souls learned how to regulate the more larger masses, etc. You know, it's been something that's been fomenting right along with the, you know, the ascendant more tendencies, those that would be more caring and decent to one another. They've kind of come up simultaneous, and both have gained what seems to be equal strength in this reality. But then all of a sudden you go boing, you know, and you see beyond this reality. And in so doing, you just neutered that kind of energy that would dominate you, and you made it into what it's supposed to be, an effort of love at every level. And it doesn't violate children at all. It loves the little child heart. It embraces it in itself as well as in all others, and unites with that happy energy. The little kid out in the cow pasture chasing butterflies, and the cattle won't molest them either. Wouldn't think of hurting them. They're just fascinated by this little child out there running wild. Maybe someday you'll see it through the old cow's eyes too. Maybe you'll understand what you're here to do, man. In the meantime, keep on dancing, okay? Because, ooh, that's how we get the old cheesy ideas of romancing out of the way and get on with real love, real life. Right here, right now, today. Blossom, baby. Papa loves you, don't you know? Along with little Obi-Wan Kenobi and all these angels tuning in here of all the odd varieties they are. That's why I don't often mention the extraterrestrials, because they're just another arm of our angelic realm. One way or the other, babies, you're going to see fascinating revelations here in the next few days. Nothing's in our way now, baby. So you want to be tuned in here again tomorrow morning, like say about 8 a.m. Mountain Time? Grandpa will be coming out with both barrels blazing once again, man. And it's the love guns, man, the ones that redirect the direction of your heart so you can get the real thought going on, okay? The one that thinks it's not only all okay, but it's a riot today. On this magnificent Monday. Thanks again for being here. We'll see you tomorrow morning, dear. Ooh. In the meantime, keep on rocking. It'll come clear, okay? It's like film. It has to develop a little bit. So don't get caught up in the process. Just flow, baby, flow.